you are here with us. I'm going to ask you in a little while to give us some of your own experiences. I've been explaining that we have been having some difficulties with the system. So
Yes.
some children, welcome Winnie. So
Thank
some
you.
children have great difficulties, and it's widely accepted in the country that a rural transport system is long overdue. The government says it's going to have that system by September. The opposition, PNP, says the system as they are planning it, as it's being rolled out, as it's being implemented, has many problems. And that's what we're going to be hearing about today. We were in touch with the minister up to a few minutes before we came on, but there are some issues he's having as well. So we are waiting on it. And we thank you, viewers and listeners, for your patience. And we welcome Desmond Richards, who's a regular panelist. Desmond, your first set of comments as we await the minister.
If, well, first of all, I must say that I welcome a school bus system. I think it is necessary. But one of the things that I have to ask myself, I am sure the government is aware of the need for the school bus system. Why did
Yeah,
they wait until weeks before election to announce it? Because one of the things that we have to understand that election when we are in elections in Jamaica, issues are caught up in election campaign. And if you was in opposition, that would be the same story. So I am wondering, why is it that the government waited until we introduced the school bus system? Then I saw this morning where they have breached the rules. The company, the company that imported the buses, you have seen the story this morning, it is not certified,
that's a Gleaner
right?
has a story on that yesterday.
Yes. And then we want to find out the cost of these buses. Yes. I hear a figure floating around $1.4 billion.
Yes.
Yes, I would like the minister to confirm that. And you see, this is something that should not be politicized, but it is in the it was introduced during the political season, and therefore it is politicized. So we want to get the truth.
Yes,
Now,
and the
um,
minister, as promised, he was in touch with us a few while ago, involved in an emergency meeting, and I'm expecting to have him on shortly where we can ask him those questions, in particular Desmond. But you agree that we need a school bus system
yes, we need a school bus system, man,
and a
and
rural school bus system.
especially for the people in rural Jamaica, because what many politicians don't want to talk about, that rural Jamaica has been left in the dark since 1962, right? The people in rural Jamaica are suffering. They are the ones who don't have any water. Their roads remain in poor condition. They are the ones who have to think of traveling 30, 40 miles to reach an hospital. They don't have access to medical care. The education system, all the bad things, the poor services are in rural Jamaica. So I know that for example, when I went to school, I never drive. I don't know what it is to drive to school. We walk to school, right? And I know that the children in rural Jamaica are having a tough time. So yes, we need a bus system, but we need something that is efficient. We don't want an election gift, right? We don't want that. We want something that is efficient, and that's something that is going to last some time. We don't, as I said, we don't want you to come to us with an election gift in order to win votes.
Fair enough. Winnie,
And I,
you're
as
you're
I,
you're still in you are still in rural Jamaica, and you see what's going on. What's your thoughts initially?
well, first of all, I just remembered not too long ago that as a Glenmuir High School student, I walked to school because I lived near enough to school, very near. I could hear the bell ring when I'm home. So the students, my classmates who used to take the bus, I just remembered that we had a school bus and how that worked. I don't even remember because I never took the bus. So I haven't had the answer yet. I remember our bus because I remember that our bus driver was Scotty and he committed suicide. So
Oh
I
my.
don't, and that was the first dead person I saw, and that had an effect on me. So that's why I remember so well that we had a bus, a school bus for Glenmuir High School. Where the bus went and all of that, I don't know because I didn't take the bus. I was very near to school. But
Mhm.
Now,
I,
Glenmuir is one of Glenmuir Franklin, as you will know, is one of the schools in the apartheid education system in Jamaica.
Well,
yes,
you mean
I'm
it's
not.
one of the better schools, and it's at one end of the apartheid system.
No, I would not say that. I would not say that. I would say Glenmuir High School, founded in 1958 by Percival Gibson, is one of the schools that is a traditional high school. And when the government made the other schools that were called new secondary schools, when they made them high schools, we call those high schools stroke of the pen high schools because nothing was done except calling them high school to upgrade them. And a number of schools have done exceptionally well. This is a different topic. It's not about transportation
Right.
now,
It's a
like
different
Denby High
topic.
School.
As such,
Right.
and Glenmuir was one. But you are. I wanted to get your comments as to what you see in the rural areas, and we're still waiting for
Well,
Minister
what I
Daryl Vaz.
see, what
Yeah.
I see is that the taxes, parents charter taxes that go, like the area that I live in, for example, it is easier for a child from Maypen to get to Lennon than to get to Lennon from here. It's only the political
Sorry,
system
sorry,
that,
sorry, Winnie. Josh, I'm sorry. Josh has a picture on the screen here, which is
yes,
a very important picture, and I don't want it to move before we make a comment on it.
it's important. The taxes that
Yes, no, not only
yes,
the taxes, the fact that some of them you have to get into what is
the trunk,
the boot,
yes,
the boot, the
yes,
trunk, whatever how they
yes.
call it.
We call it trunk.
Yeah, the
The
trunk.
yes,
The
that is
trunk. Sorry,
where
yes. And
yes,
many children in Jamaica still do that. Still have to. That's the only way that
yes, yes. That
they
is
can get
true.
to school,
That
especially
that is true.
the children in the infant and the infant level.
Primary school.
That
I,
scene there is not unusual.
no,
That
it is a
scene there.
common scene. But I
Yeah.
also, when I think about the taxes, why is it children are not walking as much as we used to walk to school? Many reasons. One of the reasons is that the roads are now so much busier than they were. So it is not safe for the children to walk to school. So even those who walk, their parents have to go with them. So it's cheaper, it's easier, the children are safer, although it seems so bad than for them to walk because of the roads, how the roads are bad and winding, and the taxis drive so fast. The children are not safe walking on the roads because you don't have the sidewalks. You don't have anything to protect them.
Well, not only that, but certainly in the case of high school children know, and because of the same apartheid system and the desirability of some schools and non-desirability of others, children go to school miles away from where they live. Walking is not a concept. But I'll give you an example.
Yes,
Many
I'm
people
sorry. I'm
would
sorry.
know.
I'm talking about those children who used to walk to school. Those are the ones in the area, you know. In my area, as long as you pass to go to, once you reach 12, you have to go outside. So you have to take public transport because we
Yes.
don't have schools near.
And that's the point I'm making,
Yes.
especially at the high school level now, especially. And even
Yes.
outside of that, there are long distances which are involved. And so many children have to go to school by some form of transport or the other.
And
Yes.
And
Winnie,
the system is worthless now.
Winnie made a point a while ago about the walking. Rural roads don't have sidewalks.
No.
Many of them do not.
No. And not
Most
even
of
not even
most
the
of them don't have any sidewalks, frankly.
But not even what used to be there. The retaining walls are not back. Even when
No.
those that have been destroyed, even the new roads, they don't have those retaining walls. So the roads are dangerous. So even if they would walk, like those in the area, even if they would walk to school, it's dangerous.
Everything
Well,
that is
we're
poor,
at another stage of development, and people call that development, and whether they like it or not, they are looking. Children are not interested in any long walks once they can get a vehicle, and vehicles
It's
are
not the children,
easy.
Franklin. It's the adults. It's the adults. Children do what adults train them to do.
Well, that's not happening so much, Winnie. I'm telling you that these children, well, first of all, the parents tend to give them some sort of funds, but it's also much of this is also rooted in some a status situation, and I'll tell you why. For example, there are some schools in St. Anne now. In St. Anne, most of well, there are several high schools centered on Brownstown. Brownstown is technically the education capital.
Yeah.
There's York Castle there, there's St. Hilda's, and not so far away is Westwood, so people come through there to
Yes.
get there. Children will come from Ocho Rios to get to those schools,
Yes.
although there's a high school in Ocho Rios itself. Children come from Discovery Bay to get to those schools, although there's a high school in Discovery Bay.
yeah,
So that's
because they want
there
to
are
go
also
to
all sorts of ifs. Yes, Desmond, go ahead.
they want to go to York Castle and St. Hilda's. Those
Yes,
are traditional high schools.
There you go. I was saying that they have choices when they do the PEP. They have a number of choices. So the schools that they list, they will get one of those.
yeah,
So sometimes the schools are far away.
yes. All right. Okay, we're reminding our viewers that we are talking about the rural school bus system,
And
and we are waiting on Minister of Transport, Daryl Vaz, who had some changes in his situation, in his circumstance. He had an emergency meeting, which he came back to us saying he couldn't get out of. So we are waiting on him. We are expecting him in less than 5 minutes, and in a very short time. Desmond, you raised some questions there about why this matter has come upon us now. You care when if there are some benefits to people. You care whether it's an election that forces those benefits out or that brings those benefits forward.
yes, I care
Yeah.
Well,
because in Jamaica, you see, I have to deal with what exists. In Jamaica, what we have a system whenever there is elections, the politicians are inclined to move heaven and earth. And the main reasons why they are so anxious nearing an election is to win votes.
Mm-hmm.
It's not really to provide service for the people which they were elected to do. It's to convince the people that, oh yes, we are doing. Let's look at what we are doing. So you must vote for us. So they will bring material and start a road. And after election, that road remain incomplete. They will do many.
Or dig up the earth for pipe and even bring some pipes there.
Yes,
Well,
I have seen so many of these tricks that I am totally convinced that the vote buying tactics is part of what we are seeing here.
well, I would think that a lot of planning had to go into this one. So although we see it coming to fruition now, there had to be some pre-planning.
Well,
Well,
I don't know, I don't know, Winnie. I don't
Okay,
know because
that's what I think.
because first of all, one of the things we must look at, these buses, these buses that we are getting, are not buses that were in service, These are buses that were in service, done their time, and were taken out of service. Remember, that is what happened, So
Okay.
these are buses that you could say that were abandoned, retired by the American school system, right? So I don't know what kind of examination was done on them. I don't know. The minister said that team was sent
yes,
over
he said
there.
a team
I don't
from
know.
JUTC, I think, was
Yeah,
sent there to inspect them.
yeah. You see, I am very skeptical of what politicians say.
Absolutely, we have
I,
to be.
yeah, I'm very
Well,
skeptical.
I can I
So
can I can I can
when
understand and relate to that.
they so when you say
You were
planning,
in
I
the
don't
middle of your
know.
sentence, Selwood.
Yeah, when you say planning, I don't know because all right, since this government, it is in the second term.
Mhm.
Did you hear? Can you recall any talk about a rural school bus system? Franklin,
Yes, I
can
can
you recall
recall.
it?
Well,
You
I can
I
recall
would.
it?
recall Mr. Vaz himself speaking about it, saying that
How long ago?
not more than a year, not more than a year.
It's not
Okay.
long. He has been there too. He has not been there the whole
Yeah, not
time.
more than a year. I can recall that.
He has not been
No,
there the whole
hold on.
time. I
No,
when it comes to things
remember,
that are said,
And the
is
argument
this a
is that it was
vast
when
going to
it
be an
policy?
comes to
expensive proposition, but they're working on it.
no, when it comes to things that are said, I am not the best person to tell you because there are times when I am not even here. So I don't hear everything. So that is why I have to research some things before I speak because I'd say, when did this happen? And since this came up, I recall that we had at Denby High School, or it was secondary then. It's long ago. I must ask who else remembers that one of these buses was donated to Denby School. One of these buses looking just like this. We got one. I don't know what happened to it, Sean. I'm not sure what happened, but I
Mm.
remember that a bus like that was donated to Denby some time ago, some years ago. Yes. So I'm not sure.
Franklin is the Franklin is the minister coming to us.
Yes, I'm expecting him. That's one. We're waiting on him.
Are we waiting
He
or
have to
should we?
change. He had to change the time, and we're waiting on him. I'm just telling all of our viewers as well that the minister changed the time
Then
for us. And
why you don't go to the why you don't go to his
well,
opponent?
Mr.
Is
Joshua is working on that in the background. Joshua is working on that in the background.
Okay.
Um, but can do nothing better than having been assured of this, because we assured, reminded, everything, and waiting on the minister now, waiting on the minister, waiting on the minister. I'm very, very, very sorry. There's nothing else that we could do um, apart from making the contacts, reminding of the contacts,
Yeah.
assuring of the contacts. And Joshua is saying we're going to the minister now, so let's hope so. We're just waiting on him. And Desmond, one of the points that you made about the buses, these buses are one of the issues that I think we raise is that the buses have the doors on the roads on the road side of the road. That is to say, not on the left hand side.
It would
And
be,
that
Yeah, because they are American
yeah.
vehicles, you know.
So
They're
so
American
it
and the
would
vehicles.
drive
move on.
and
Yes.
so there's a discussion that there's going to be retrofitting of these vehicles, and there would have to be if we're not going to have a situation of total lack of safety. Waiting on Joshua to come over with the minister now. The streets are really running against the time.
It's
Um,
it's
Listen, listeners, I
unfortunate.
can't do a thing. We're still waiting on the minister.
Yeah. It's unfortunate that our children are caught in the middle of this situation,
Yeah.
because we should all be on the same page when it comes to the safety of our children, and really to get them to school on time and back from school safely. That
And I
should,
think, sorry, Winnie, go ahead. Go
yes,
ahead.
I'm saying that should be the priority, and that's something that we should be able to agree on as a nation, how we're going to do that. But I suppose in the cut and thrust of politics, people want to score, and there is a thinking
Where is
that
it? This is
those
it.
first,
Oh, this is it. Yeah, yeah.
camera.
This,
Yes,
this is it. This is mute.
Okay, the minister is there trying to get in with
yes.
us. Minister, good afternoon, sir.
Yeah, morning, afternoon, sir. How you doing?
We've been waiting on you, Minister, but
Uh,
we're very happy to have you.
I was having some technical challenges, and my apologies for being late. But in this situation here, I have to deal with certain things based on a Gleaner headline this morning. So I have to deal with that. So
Yeah,
anyway, I'm here. I'm here for you, my brother. What's up?
right. Well, we are with us, Desmond,
Mr.
Richards, and Winnie, and
Mr.
Mr. Doug.
Douglas Vaz, son.
Yes, who is that?
Hello, Mr.
Desmond Richards.
Hello, Mr. Douglas
Okay.
Vaz, son.
Thank you. Good morning. Yes, man. How you doing?
Uh-huh.
Minister, we're going to use up the
I
time
am
because
supposed to be
Larry's been
okay.
patient with us.
Well, yeah,
Minister,
yeah,
you
talk,
said you
yeah,
you
talk.
you 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 know, Minister, you have been reading a lot and you have been seeing a lot and you have been hearing a lot of comments, some positive, some negative. But I want to just start by asking you, Minister, given all that you have now heard since you have put this process out there, and we have a lot of quick questions for you. Minister, do you have any regrets now about this system? Do you have any regrets about, because you are the person who has been the lead in putting this all together? Do you have any regrets now about this um, rural school bus system as you have
The,
been put together?
the only regret that I have is the response of the opposition and some of their cohorts and conspirators in terms of trying to talk negative on one of the most transformative policies that has been ever implemented in the history of Jamaica for rural parents and students. I have absolutely no apologies. And the fact of the matter is that, as I said before, this was a decision that was made to put this as an emergency to make sure we have school buses for September 25, based on all that has transpired over the decades, including the rise in deaths and injuries of our students traveling to school in rural Jamaica. I have already indicated that the first phase was to get the 110 buses here, and the second phase will be to bring sufficient buses to cover the balance of schools. This is 258 schools out of 650 odd schools. So we have a way to go. But the commitment I gave, and I will repeat it again, now that we have done what we have done for the first 110, it gives me a lot more time to be able to review and see what is out there for the second phase to see whether or not we stick with what we had to get based on the time constraints or we can branch out into other possibilities across the globe in terms of types of buses, whether new buses, used buses, refurbished buses, whatever kind of bus. The, the,
Desmond, go quickly. Go ahead, Desmond. Desmond has a lot of questions, and I have a lot of minutes, so
Min-
we tight on the time.
Minister, this rural school bus system, it was a JLP policy.
so it was a JLP policy that was started to was tried to be implemented in under Mike Henry, where the government had signed off on 235 buses or 240 buses over 4 years, with the first order of 60 buses or 65 buses. We lost the election in 2012 and that was shelved. The JUTC also tried to implement this policy in 2013 by getting 20 buses that they wanted to put as a pilot throughout the KMTR for school children specifically. And that was also shelved by the then Minister Omar Davies as unsustainable and whatever else he said. It's all there in the archives. We in
You see,
2023, when I became minister, made an announcement that I was going to introduce a rural school bus system because I had written about it from 2014 in the article in my favorite newspaper, The Gleaner. And the bottom line is that we tried several different models, including using the existing transport operators and dedicate buses to pay them full fare, and that was coming out, depending on the model, anywhere between $8 and $20 billion a year in subsidy. Totally unaffordable and unsustainable. Hence, the third model that we came up with was using the North American school buses, which are purpose built and have been used in the North American system from 1937. And some of those very buses have been used in Jamaica for decades for certain schools in Jamaica who provide a transport system for their students through contractors or the school runs it. So this is not new in terms of the type of bus that we're using in Jamaica. Now for the 110.
Minister, I wanted to ask you, why did we not go for new buses? Why did we not go for new buses? And is it correct to say that the buses that we're importing, the ones you have got so far and the ones that are coming, are between 10 and 15 years old,
Okay, so
retired
so
buses?
so no, they're not. First of all, they're not retired. Let me just deal with the propaganda and the misinformation. First of all, I would not have been able to get new buses here in time for September 2025. Secondly, the cost would be probably unaffordable based on the fact that we did not put budgetary allocations in the budget, um, and therefore we had to find the money to purchase these buses. Thirdly, these buses, and I want to repeat this minister and this government is not going to bring buses to Jamaica that are not fit for purpose. I am going to bring buses that are designed and manufactured for the use of school children with the specifications that are completely different to what normally happens when you buy a coaster and just bring in a coaster. Lastly, I want to debunk the misinformation and the rumor. All of these buses that have been bought are inspected by Department of Transport approved inspectors, and it is a requirement for each state to do an inspection once a year, and in some cases and some states twice, Every one of these buses that have been bought were inspected by the state appointed inspector under the criteria of the Department of Transport and have 2025 stickers, decals on them to show that they have been inspected. Other than that, the average age of the public transportation vehicles in the transport system today is 14 years old. For buses, it's 18 years old. And before I brought the 270 new JUTC buses, the average age of the JUTC was 14 years. So these buses with an average of 10 years old are the newest buses that will be in the transport system. With Cummins diesel engines, that have a lifetime, you can Google it, of up to 500,000 miles, and the Allison transmissions
Are
that
you
have the
saying that
same.
these buses were not retired, Minister?
They
You're saying that these buses were not
they are,
retired?
they absolutely are not decommissioned or retired. There is a subsidy that the
They were
U.S.
in use.
government, just listen, no,
They,
that the U.S. government gives, and have given over $5 billion over the last 4 or 5 years. And that subsidy is to encourage the operators of these buses to replenish their stock by virtue of them getting concessions and grants to be able to afford them. These buses with the highest of 170,000 miles, these buses do between 15 and 20,000 miles per year based on the fact that they work morning and evening. So these buses have between 10 and 15 years on the engines and transmissions before any overhauling, any retirement of the engine, or any major work on the engine. And anybody who know about diesel engine knows about Cummins, and anybody who know about transmission know about Allison transmission. These buses will give us easily 10 to 15 years based on the current mileage and the amount of miles that they're going to do per year. Remember that
so you are saying,
I'm the founding president of the Jamaica Used Car Dealer Association. Automobile business is my business, So nobody can tell me, because I
so
do
you
my
are saying,
research and I know what I'm talking about. It's
so you are
wicked,
saying that,
wicked, evil, bad mind people that trying to tear this down. And me alone going to take them on. All of them.
so you,
Oh,
so
Minister,
you are
you
saying,
don't believe that people have genuine concerns. You need to you're putting out information out there. But it's
Mr.
because they're
McKnight,
evil.
Mr. McKnight, I have had more press conferences and tweeted more about this and done more lives because I fully understand that there are well-thinking Jamaicans like yourself who want real answers. But there are also those who want to politicize it because they realize that this is a transformative policy and it is going to get the
but,
overwhelming support of all well-thinking Jamaicans. I am
but
one of the
Minister,
most accessible ministers in this that this country has ever seen, and one of the most upfront. So there, I don't need to run and hide from anybody because I'm
Mini-
accessible. What hurts me
Mini-
is that they would go to the cleaner with a headline today, and the same reporter messages me almost weekly on ministerial matters. The PNP has never asked me a question. The cleaner lady who wrote this article today talks to me every week or every other week and would not find it necessary to call me to get the clarifications and go and write a sensational headline to go to try and
But you haven't
bring
told us what's the clarification, Minister. They've said that the
the
company.
clarification is that the buses are imported by a license that every vehicle that enters Jamaica has to get a trade board license, not a letter. And all of the buses to date have been imported in the name of the Ministry of Science, Energy, Telecommunications, and Transport. Those licenses have been on social media for the last 2 weeks. So
is the company,
to say that they don't have it or they don't know, they are downright dishonest. and despicable.
The, the story is saying that the company is not certified. Is that incorrect?
The company does not need to be certified because the company is not trading motor vehicles. You get a license, a certification from the trade board when you are a used car dealer that is importing and trading, selling. These are for the government of Jamaica, and therefore they are being imported by the government through this supplier. A completely different thing, which is why they would not need to be certified because they are not bringing in cars for resale or trucks or buses for resale to the trade.
I get that
Again,
understanding, Minister, but
again,
what about
again,
the procurement process involved here?
that certification came about as of my lobbying back in 1993 when everybody was a briefcase, suitcase importer. You remember those days?
Yes, but
Yes.
Minister, what about the process here now for tender? Did anybody was there? What's the procurement process on
The
this
procurement
particular?
pro, the
Yes.
procurement process is sole source because this particular company is the
Sorry, I
agent,
didn't get that. The procurement process what? I
is an
didn't.
So,
unsolicited proposal,
Yeah.
sole source because they are the agent for the manufacturers and the dealers for the bus. Nobody else can sell those buses to Jamaica or the
But,
Caribbean because the company has tied that up.
but somebody, in other words, couldn't anybody else, if you went to the usual procurement process, couldn't another company, another set of people come up with buses that might be different, better, and cost us less?
The buses that were bought were the buses that were available, that we checked out, and we realized we could get them to Jamaica in the timeline that we needed. Anything else, we would not have met September morning 2025. And let me just make it clear that if these buses are even more expensive than what we could have gotten if we had waited 6 months or a year, the lives that it is going to save is worth it. And I'm prepared to take that rap. If it saves one life or one child being injured in another Pro Box or another Voxy,
Yeah.
same to
You
me
see, Minister,
that
Minister,
the next round,
what,
go ahead,
when we have
Desmond.
one
Go
of,
more
ahead.
time,
Oh,
we will explore and we will go out to make sure that we see exactly what else is available and the prices and the options. In this
yes,
case,
I wanted
North
to ask you
America
that
was the
before Desmond come
closest.
in, Minister.
The,
Before Desmond comes
these
back in, I
buses
wanted to
from
ask you.
1937
No,
are the gold standard of, of transportation, public transportation in North America. These buses, when they are finished like this, is not Jamaica alone compete to buy them. Other transport operators, private operators in the United States, plus Canada, plus Panama, plus Guadeloupe, about 7 or 8 other countries that take these buses, just like what Jamaica is doing now, as long as they have been inspected and passed by the Department of Transport inspectors in the states that are so certified. Yes? So,
Minister,
guess what?
Minister,
As
you,
I
you,
said
you were
before,
saying that,
this one here,
Minister, you were
I
saying,
will,
I'm not hearing you.
if I have to tweet and do a live and do a press conference every day till September 2025, and every day after that, until the system is rolled out, I'm prepared to do it. There's
Minister,
enough well-thinking
you said
Jamaicans
earlier,
who are
no, I'm not
supportive of
hearing you.
this. And I would say 99.9% that I'm not going to make point one wicked, evil, bad mind people who talk about them on the bus, we're bringing bus to kill our people, picnic. Biggest
hey,
scandal
listen,
in the history of Jamaica.
hey,
Daryl
listen,
Vaz don't drop catch, boy. Remember I tell you
one
that.
of the things,
Anything I do it
Daryl,
properly because I know my name easy to call. And Desmond Richards know that too. So I don't do things
Minister,
half-hearted. I make sure that
you,
whatever I do can stand
Minister,
scrutiny
you what
and
happened? You what
justification,
happened?
and I'm prepared to
Well, I
do
know,
that from now
allow us to talk.
until all the buses that are required to be imported to
Joshua, is he
implement
hearing
a
us?
fulsome rural school bus system is complete. That is my commitment to Jamaica, and nobody going to take me off of it as long as Andrew Onis keeps me as Minister of Transport.
You
That
see,
is
one
my
of the things.
commitment. So my argument, hop off on the bus fender. Hop off with your lies and your evil thoughts and wicked. I am so upset about
You
this.
see,
You can't imagine. It's one of the
I can
darkest
hear.
days in
but
Jamaica's history.
but you
I
see,
can hear.
but
I
you
don't have
see,
a
one of the
problem.
things
Ask me
that.
all the questions, but do it in a proper
But
format so that when you get the answers, you're satisfied and you're not going out there and just creating mayhem and mischief every day when the people are suffering and reaching out for a proper transport system. How can you
oh,
expect children who are at a distinct disadvantage because they are paying a lesser fare and the taxis want to be viable and want to earn maximum money in a day? Hence, they say no schoolers. And therefore, what the children have to go through on a daily basis to get to school. By the time they get to school, they are traumatized. You could have given them breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They are unable to learn, which means that the country is at risk because they're not meeting their true potential. And you're doing so at a subsidy of $50 per way, $100. You have technology that your parent can see and go on the app and know exactly where the bus reach. Know when the child board the bus. Will know when the child come off the bus. The school can know as well. You're watching the driver. You're geofencing the bus so that if the driver come off of the route, it send a signal. Come on,
All right,
man. Come on. And then you spread propaganda about is
Minister,
$1.4 million the cost of the buses are.
Minister,
It's not 1.4. It's 1.4 for the
Minister.
buses, for the inland freight to get them to the state that you need to ship them out of, which is Miami or New York, which is very expensive. The sea freight, which is very expensive. The duty on the buses, service
how much? How much? How
contract
much one of the bus
for the
cost?
same
What is the cost of one
criteria
of the
as
bus?
Department of Transport for 3
Minister,
years.
what is
Parts
minister?
for
He's
one
not
whole
hearing
year.
us. I don't know. Desmond, I don't know why he's
Filtration
not hearing
mi-
us.
system to make sure that the engine can last even more than the 500
Minister, what is the cost of one of the bus for one
to
of the
the
bus?
children. A cashless
Huh?
system where the children swipe the card on
He's
getting
not
on the
hearing
bus
us.
and when
I
they're
don't know
leaving.
what is
That is
happening.
how the schools and the parents going to
Oh.
know where their children are. And these evil,
Minister,
wicked
we're
people
asking you
want
what's
to
the
make them just
cost
sit
of
down
one
for a
of the
man lap
buses?
and hang out a window and hang out a trunk and be abused every day because they can't get a proper transport to take them to school.
Minister,
I'm not hearing them, man. I'm not
Minister,
hearing nothing.
what is the
I'm going to
cost
go on
for
mute
one of the
today, yeah?
bus?
Because Sunday.
What what is
Rubbish.
the cost of one of the bus? Huh?
Any question, just send them to me any time of the day or
But
night. And make I deal
I am
and
asking
respond to
you,
them
I am
anytime at
asking you
all.
a question now. I am asking you
Transparency
a
and
question.
accountability, I believe in
What
wholeheartedly.
what is
And therefore, do it
what is it?
structured. Send your requests. Give us time to respond. Don't send me an email on a Thursday night. I want you to answer 13 questions by 4 o'clock Friday and set me up so that you can run a headline, sensational headline Sunday. When you know that you're not going to get the information, but you can say, yes,
Complain to the
you did ask the ministry.
complain to the
What I'm telling you,
complain
WhatsApp,
to
where Kimon always send me on every other thing. In and out of
complain to the Gleaner editor about that, man. Don't complain to us. What is the cost for one of the buses? Minister,
Not sure he's
against the
hearing us.
school bus system for no other
yep.
reason than political power at all costs. And it is going
Desmond,
to
I don't think he's
backfire on
hearing
them,
us.
and Jamaica is going to reject them, all of them. Just watch
Viewers,
the ride. And
listeners, I don't think Minister is hearing us. And we are trying to get in some questions. And he's just on, he's not hearing us.
He,
I've just sent him
he's
a
making a he's making a political speech.
yeah. Minister, you're
Minister,
hearing us now? Mr. Vaz, you're hearing us now? Mr. Vaz, you're hearing us now? He's
you
apparently
hearing
not
me?
hearing. Yeah, we are, sir. We are hearing you. Are
no.
you hearing us? Are you hearing us?
Are you hearing me?
I'm hearing you. We are
Are
We
you
hearing
are
you.
hearing
hearing
us?
you.
Go on. You
Are
know,
you hearing us? Huh?
He's not. He clearly isn't hearing us.
Minister, you're not hearing us. We are hearing you, but you're not hearing us. My volume is up and everything, and you're not hearing us, Minister.
Well,
yeah, man, you hear me now? You hear me now, Franklin?
Yes, we're hearing
are
we
you
were
here?
hearing everything. We're hearing
I'm,
everything, but you're
yeah,
not hearing us.
you know, I'm
You're
hearing
hearing
you
us
now.
now?
Yeah. No, I'm saying that I'm now in Manchester, heading to a meeting in South Manchester, which I'm addressing, and
Yeah.
I'm actually
Listen,
here, and I have to get back to Kingston to Old Harbour for the gospel concert. So I'm asking you, anything else that your listeners, viewers, or yourselves would like to know, please don't hesitate to send me the information in whichever format, and you have an undertaking that I'll respond to everything and
Mr.
anything.
Vaz, you're
Yeah.
hearing me? You
Yes,
are
sir.
hearing me now?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
All right. One of the final questions we have to ask you, because you were speaking and we were trying to get through to you. What is the cost of retrofitting the buses?
What is the cost of one?
Of
What is the
retrofitting the
cost of one
buses?
of the bus?
I don't have the breakdown because there are different prices, eh?
Yeah.
But what the retrofitting basically is moving the door from the right hand side to the left hand side and reconfiguring the seats. And then of course the refurbishing of the bus is all dependent on each bus as to what it requires, whether it requires spraying it over, reupholstering, whatever it is that it needs to make
Yeah.
sure that it is hitting. But I don't have where I'm driving now, so I don't have the exact cost, but there's a complete breakdown which will be made available.
All right. And we're not
So
going to
what
hold
is
it
the
much longer. We're not going to hold it much longer. This man has been asking, what is the cost of the buses? What is the cost of
one of the
each
bus?
bus? You said the
There
1.4
there was
billion is
there
for
was
several
there,
things.
there was on social media leaked the other day the first 25 buses. I don't have it in front of me now, but the list was there. That was the first 25. There's another 14 or 18 that came in over the weekend. And by the end of July, the last week of July, all 110 will be here, and the buses are paid for when they are arrived, cleared, and inspected again by the Island Traffic Authority, and then they certify them, and then we pay. So we don't pay up front either. We wait to make sure the buses get here in the condition that we bought them, and also with the same chassis numbers, everything, to make sure that we do our checks and balances.
Every parish will be
So what?
covered in this first phase,
All
Minister. Every parish
200,
will be covered in this first phase.
every parish with 258 schools, and it has now gone from 100 routes to 122 and still being fine-tuned. So right now we don't have the final routes as yet. We'll have them in another week or so, and they will also be publicized, and of course stakeholder consultations done.
All
All
right.
of that. 100 buses will be out. 10 of them will be retained across the island for contingency in the event that one bus needs to be replaced for any extended period of time.
Yeah.
Everything is thought out and planned. Okay? Every
All right.
box
Yeah.
is ticked. Every box is ticked. And we are hoping that we will go out with a seamless rollout and tweak as we require, depending on what issues face us when we vote.
Minister, we thank you. We heard your anger, though, and I don't think you should be describing the people who have some concerns, wicked,
Uh,
evil, and bad
no, no,
minded.
no, no, no. That is specifically to the political conspiracy that is being carried out by the opposition. Everybody else every other well-thinking, clean-hearted person that has concerns, I will answer your concerns any day. What I want is put up with the comments such as government bringing in bus to kill off school picnic and my picnic can't go up on that bus and there's some old bus them buy, right? On the political platform, them out of order and they take Jamaicans for but I'm no fool. Remember that I tell you that. Remember, right?
All right, Minister, thank you. You're going to have to come back next week, Sunday, because we
I
missed
will come back.
we
I will
missed
come back every day,
If you
3 days.
because
I,
you missed
I am available 24/7, 365 on this matter
Not to,
because me alone
I know
not,
will
you're
take on
an
all of them.
I know you're an available minister. I mean,
All right, my
even when
brother.
you get
yes.
red, it's all
God
right.
bless. God bless you. Thank you, listeners. I hope you're more well educated on this matter. And as I said before, those who are trying to use it and tear it down for political purposes, you will be judged in due course. God
All
bless.
right. Thank you. Be safe on the road, sir.
Travel safely, Minister.
But Desmond,
Yes, sir.
Minister wasn't here on us behalf at the time when we wanted to put our questions forward. And that's sad.
Mm.
Um,
It's a, yes.
we also had Mr. Mikeal Phillips. We couldn't take him because of how we were set up. We were set up to have the minister go first, and that had been changed and set up. But we're sorry about that. And the only thing that I can say, and we had some difficulties at the start. Only thing I can say is that we hope to have the discussion again next week. It would have gone on a bit. We really want to hear what the PNP is planning. We want to hear their
Yeah.
how they respond to the negatives that the minister raised with regard to them. I'm sure you all want to hear. I want to hear what their time is. Desmond, your final word before we say farewell this evening, afternoon. Sorry.
Well, um, the thing I would say that um, this is something that should not be politicized, but the time that it was introduced is during the political season, and where it will be politicized. So, for me, I am just skeptical of the politicians saying. I listen to them, and time will tell.
Yeah. Winnie, have a
Well,
quick word, final word.
well, what I say is that may the children win in all of this. May at the end of the day, it is for them. So I hope they get the best out of this bus system.
We want to thank, that's our show for today. We want to thank Minister of Transport Daryl Vaz. We were waiting on Mr. Mikeal Phillips. He was in a bad location. We're going to invite him back next week. We'll have to hear what he has to say. Thanks to Winnie Anderson Brown and to Desmond Richards, our regular contributors. Special thanks to you, our viewers who stayed with us, who came in and pointed out that we were running late. Thank you very much for being with us. Remember to subscribe to the channel. And thanks to Joshua Black, Media Services, for technical support. Joshua, we had a lot of difficulties, but we thank you for taking us through there. I'm Franklin McKnight. Until then.